What is up to all 1935 of y'all? And if it looks darker up in here, is because I actually normally with my other weekly vlogs, I'm available on Mondays, so I tend to wake up, wait for the perfect time for the sun to just beam into this room, and then just start shooting it, shooting my weekly vlog full of sunlight. But in today, I've managed to actually I worked today. So I'm back. I just made it back home. I just, did everything I needed to do. No big deal. And, and I mean, as I mentioned before, my financial situation is actually getting a little bit better because I'm getting more hours at my job. But, and it has nothing to do with my video and probably more to do with the fact that a lot of my coworkers are leaving. And because they are leaving, clearly they need as many hands on deck as they need. So they will offer me up the days I normally don't work, Monday and Tuesday. So they offer me up the days to come to work on Monday and Tuesday. So I've been doing that lately. So that's actually been kind of helping out. My expenses, like I said, at this point now, it's not necessarily even about the money that I earn as much as my expenses, because I still got the doctor bill I got to pay off, and I still got I got like a whole bunch of other things I have to knock out financially. It's been very stressful financially still, but it's less because of my job and how much I'm getting paid, and more about the things that have just been sort of creeping up that I owe. And it's like it sucks now. You know what I mean? It just, everything costs money and everything is expensive. It's very frustrating. I promise you, at some point I'm going to find another word for frustrating, but until then, it's very frustrating. It's now my new catchphrase. Let's go. Wow. If I could edit, I would probably be doing something like that. I don't know, like a little title thing with that. But probably like a little gaming thing where it's like wing wing wing. Anybody who's ever played video games in the 90s or in the early 2000s, you know all about the selecting screen where they would like do a little like start options, help, stuff like that. I think it was like, remember when credits was the thing that you could actually like look at from the start screen? It's hilarious. But yeah though. Like I said, my financial situation is looking a little bit better because I am getting paid a little bit more, but that's only because, like I said, the turnover at my job is actually kind of ridiculous. The more I look back at it, the more I realize I've been at my job for a copious amount of time, and in that time, I think we've went through at least like a good 50 or so workers, like if not more than that. Like, and my whole thing is that, like, I grew attached to some of my coworkers that aren't there anymore. So I do miss them, and some of them I haven't been able to reach out to outside of work. So it's like, now that they're gone. It's like, and it kind of bums me out a little bit because like some of them I feel like I've gotten along with to a point where I could actually, like, I feel connected to some of them. And I miss like the coworkers that are leaving now. I actually miss them. Like, anybody have you ever had like a coworker that you genuinely like being around because they seem like just cool people, and you like them? I know that's a weird question to ask nowadays, because like I feel like as a society we're supposed to like everybody until we don't. But in this day and age, everybody is so heck bent on bullying and picking on people and being mean to folk nowadays. It's like, like people are like, I hate people and I want to bully everybody for my own personal amusement. And, so it's like, it's really weird to it's really weird to ask, did anybody ever have a coworker that you just like? Because in short, I like all of my coworkers until they've all given me a reason to dislike them. And so far, only, as long as I've been working there, only 2 coworkers I have has. You know what I mean? And I don't even remember their names. So, like, it's kind of like, it's just wild to me. In any case, though, like I am gonna miss like all of my coworkers that I have left, but they're on to pursue better ventures, and I'm glad to see that, because like they're like obviously this job, like the job that you have is clearly not the job that you want. So if you can work towards getting the job that you want, by all means, I support that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, no, please stay here because I like you so much. Please stay. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying, like, hey, keep up with me on your way out. Social media, which is actually a good thing. A lot of people tend to bash technology nowadays, I notice, and it's really weird because without technology, we wouldn't. A lot of us would be some really lonely, angry, grouchy, bitter MFs. And granted, some of us are lonely, bitter, grouchy, like people, but like it's not because of, social media. It's just because you're a mean person. You know what I mean? Like social media did kind of turn me grumpy a little bit, but it's not because of social media itself as much as just like I started interacting with people who were just bullies and just mean. And so I assumed that everybody on the internet was just a mean bully until I came across people who weren't mean bullies. And now I just accept the fact that there's some people out there that are just obnoxiously mean bullies, and there are some people out there that just aren't. And I choose to acknowledge the bullies, but appreciate the people that aren't. You see what I'm saying? I can think like two things can be true at the same time. There are bullies on the planet, but bullies want you to believe that they're the only people on the planet, but they're not. There's some nice folks out there too. I myself am trying to be one of them. With that being said, with that little ramble on that I got going on, I want to take this time to actually draw some attention because I wanted to talk about this in a while. Like I tapped on this a little bit in my other video, but I want to talk about this kind of fully, so to speak, in this one because I tend to call certain parts of the internet blank net, so to speak. So it's like if there's a part of the internet that's dedicated to cooking, I call it cooking net. There's a part of the internet that's dedicated to doing things with their hands. I call that crafting net. There's a thing, stuff like that. So I don't know where to call this stuff, success net, money net, or capitalism net, but there is an entire culture on the internet that is dedicated to trying to make as much money as possible. And honestly, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If you are the type of person who got that get up and go attitude to make the money that you need to make in order to get to where you need to go to, by all means, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Financial growth, it motivates some people to just be decent people. But the problem is that it kind of doesn't. It hasn't in a long time. A lot of people who I know, or not who I know, but a lot of people I've encountered who are like heck bent on this whole financial growth version of the internet have been scamming people, lying to people, conniving people, robbing people, or they have managed to, like the obsession with money. It's like the obsession with money has managed to turn them into just some of the least likable people on the planet. And it's easy to like see kind of like how it happens too, because a lot of rich people are terrible people. I'm not saying every rich person is a terrible person, and I'm also not going to ignore the fact that there are in fact some rich people that do work hard to get to where they are. I acknowledge in those people. That's why I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the ones who didn't work hard and the ones who are evil. You see what I'm saying? I can different. Two things can't be true at the same time. There are some people who worked hard to get a whole bunch of money, and there are some people who are decent people who just happen to have a lot of money. But those are the people who are doing their jobs correctly. It's kind of like what God said in that episode of Futurama. Sometimes when you're doing something right, it's almost as if like you're not doing anything at all. So I'm not acknowledging the people who are doing nothing. I'm acknowledging people who are doing the stuff wrong. Okay. And there's this aspect on first off is almost always a dude, right? There is almost always a dude, and a lot of times they don't necessarily want to help get anybody's financial game up as much as they want to influence and guide people. You know what I'm saying? I hate the word guidance now, by the way. I can't stand the word guidance because a lot of people who use that word, they use it. It's kind of like it's a breakaway from them just trying to influence people. You know what I mean? It's messed up. And also, once again, I am very sorry. At some point, I'm going to probably invest in another ring light, but I am broke right now, so you're just gonna have to deal with this talking shadow, okay? Talking shadow. I can call that. I can call this that, kinda, huh? Talking shadow vlog. But yeah, though, but it's like, first off, like the introduction to capitalism nets is predatory. they go after people who are financially desperate, and they consider the financial desperation, they sort of twist it into like a motivation. It's like, you're not desperate, you're motivated, which gets code for you're in such a terrible spot right now that you're willing to do just about anything for the money. That's part one. That's how it starts. They're basically, instead of them saying, you're in such a bad way that you're willing to do anything for money, they'll say you're motivated to have that get up and go attitude to get where you need to go to, stuff like that. And then they also never tell you specifically what it is that you're actually doing, but it almost always involves investing money into something, which is code for give us your money the long way. And you find yourself doing just that. It's like, at the end of the day, it just comes off as a scam, and it's very frustrating. And it's bad because why? Like you already, and it's almost always rich dudes scamming people. It's like, you already have money. Why you need more money? What caused more money that you were trying to get, that you're trying to scam poor people out of money? Like, not rich people, poor people who don't have money. It's just like, it's a special kind of evil. And it's just wild, man. It's crazy. So they either scam people, or there's this collection of there's other connection of finance net, whereas like there is ultimately just people who are trying to overcompensate for something. Like, for example, there's guys out there who believe, like, there's this weird, it's almost like a religion. Like, they're basically saying having a whole lot of money is the answer to all of their problems, and that should not be the case. You see what I'm saying? Like, having a whole bunch of money should not be the answer to all of your problems, because if it is, like, there is closure in finding and investing in things that you want to get. Like this, like the small victories of being able to say that you want something and then being able to actually get it. It's an awesome thing. It's a good feeling because you accomplished something and you got a reward out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's good, and you gave yourself that reward, which makes it even better. But the idea that, like, you want to feel like, you want to chase that high enough to basically worship the feeling that you get from having that money, or getting something that you want, getting something else because you couldn't get something that you wanted. In some instances, like, there's a big tie-in with finance net or capitalism net or whatever with the incel community, where they basically say, they're overcompensating for not being able to get the girl that they want by having as much money as possible. Or there's incel net, or as I call it, or people call it the manosphere, and finance net. Or there's scam net and finance net, or there's crime net or the dark web and this stuff. The more you get into the part of the internet that is chock full of guys that's trying to, ultimately just sort of like give themselves this image of success that they never have, which is ultimately just a white dude in a suit, right? Like, think about the word success and think about what it was always been correlated to. It's almost always either a white dude in a suit or just a suit in general. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole idea is that a suit is expensive because you got to get it like tailor made, and that stuff costs money. And that stuff costs copious amounts of money. If you don't have a suit, you're not rich. If you're not rich, you're not successful, blah, blah, blah. Success, by the way, you can be successful in a multitude of ways. It's not, being successful doesn't always mean you happen to have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird how we've managed to put that to the forefront of what success means, that, like, if you believe that you're successful in another way, somebody who has probably an okay amount of money is going to come up to you and say, well, I make more money than you, so you're not successful. You know what I mean? And it's like that you can't measure success with finances, because the richest people in America are proven to be monsters. Like Diddy, once again, Epstein, Weinstein, Trump. All these people made a copious amount of money. And there's a whole conspiracy theory going on that rich people are all just evil monsters who go around hurting people for their own personal amusement, if not personal gain. So this idea of measuring success with financial gain is basically, you're kind of defeating the purpose of believing that conspiracy theories, because either you believe that rich people are evil, or you believe that they're the greatest people in the world because of how successful they are. You see what I'm saying? But in any case, though, the pursuit of money has ultimately led to a lot of great. I think it's a sin, right, to pursue a whole bunch of money. But this belief and this concept that has been going on lately is just kind of it's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'll tell you that much right now. So but I don't, like I said, I don't trust that side of the community. You can't even, like, there's no amount of, you can't brainwash me into thinking that, like, being rich is the greatest thing ever. I do believe that I do need money, you know what I'm saying? I do need I need a lot of money, but that's just to pay bills. That's just to keep my head afloat, you know what I'm saying? To pay bills, pay for the car, pay for this rent, pay for my phone, and pay for things that I need to pay for. But I'm not trying to get a solid gold urinal in my apartment, okay? I'm not trying to like get like 14 houses just so I can have a vacation home in every state or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to buy things in bulk. I would, like, I'm pretty sure I can never, once again, I can never be a billionaire because you already know what I would do with $1 billion. There's a whole video dedicated to that. I probably might put into the end screen here. But yeah, though, like, but y'all gotta watch out for these success bros, man. Watch out for these capitalist guys who think that rich people are like worth worshiping. Watch out for these guys who are hyper obsessed with making a whole bunch of money, because they're either trying to brainwash you into giving them money, or yeah, I think that's about it actually. But yeah, sorry, like I said, sorry about the talking shadow effect. I mean, like, I guess I could talk a little bit like this if I wanted to, but I'm not. Fun fact, if you actually go into some of my older videos, you will know that I am trying to be a voice actor, and that's why I always do the voices. One of the big things I've always wanted to do is be a voice actor. I mean, like, does my voice sound different when I go a little bit into the southern aspect of things? Does my voice sound different when I talk deeply? Do my voice sound different when I talk like Mickey Mouse? Do my voice sound differently when I try to become Otto from The Simpsons? Oh yeah. Does my voice sound different when I try to talk in a deeper tone? Does this sound different from what I was talking like earlier? Because if it's not, then I'm still going to probably pursue becoming a voice actor. But, like, I will now know that you won't listen to me if I consider it. In any case, though, I'm going to go ahead and head out because I have no clue where I was going with all of this. But the weekly vlog this is a weekly vlog for today. Love, peace, and happiness and safety to everyone out there. Once again, being mean is mainstream. Be punk rock instead. Show somebody, don't. Also, remember, you are an experience. You're not just a person. You are an experience, and you have a chance to be either a good experience to somebody or a bad experience for someone. If you're going to be a bad experience for someone, don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're being a good experience. Acknowledge the fact that you're being a bad one, and at least understand why you're doing it. And if you don't know why you're being a bad experience to somebody, maybe don't be a bad experience next time. I'm just saying. Like I said, be kind, be nice, show people love, or just leave people alone. If you can't be nice, if you can't be kind, just leave people alone. Everybody's going through some stuff right now. Everybody's, like, times are tough. Everything sucks right now. So, like, don't ruin somebody else's day just because your day is bad. Like, I can't lie to y'all, man. I go through bad stuff all the time. I could be an internet. I wanted to be a bully because I thought it was the only thing to do, and then I realized, yeah, I don't have to do this. I mean, I outgrew it. Outgrow bullying. That's another one. Love, peace, happiness. Being mean is mainstream. Be punk rock instead, and be kind to somebody. And outgrow bullying. You're an adult now. Like, you can't still be thinking that bullying is cool. You're about to be 40. We're all miserable. Okay, that's it. Production value is bad, and I apologize, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. Y'all be easy. Also, obviously there won't be no live tomorrow because that post that I made didn't get 100 likes. So, but I do appreciate it all the same. For all the 64 people who did like it, thanks again. And we'll try again for next week. I don't know. I probably might make that a thing. You want to see me live? You gotta like that thing. All right.